Hey guys, Mark here with a new video. Today I want to give you some tips and tricks pertaining to Call of Duty Warzone. I know many of you may know the information I'm going to be presenting in this video, but this video is more of a beginner's guide for people still new to the game. Firstly, let's talk about the main thing you will need to have a chance at obtaining that final Warzone victory, and that is going to be a decent squad to play with. I know this is easier said than done, but I personally know of a ton of LFG discords and websites where you can find some like-minded players to play with. There will be links in the description for those. Now, let's talk about some more important information pertaining to the actual game. If you are new to a Battle Royale game, the basic information is that the last person or squad standing wins. As the match progresses, toxic gas will force other players closer and closer to the center of the zone, which obviously causes a lot of fighting. With that being said, there's tons of floor loot that will get you started with defending yourself and your team. Some guns are better than others, which will be marked with different colors from the traditional loot system. White variants are common weapons, blue are going to be your rare versions of the guns, purple will be epic, which are even more rare, and then finally there are your legendary weapons, which are orange, and usually drop with more attachment than those rare and epic guns. Now, let's talk about some of the map spawns as well as contracts. Contracts are essentially side missions you can do to obtain money. With this money, you have a wide variety of things to buy, such as armor plates, loadout drops, self-revives, and many more essential items in the game. There are three different types of contracts, the first being bounties. This will mark a random player, typically somewhat near you, that will be your bounty. If you manage to kill this player, you will reap the reward as well as their loot. The next contract is a scavenger contract. This contract requires you to loot 3 loot boxes found on the ground, and upon opening the third one, you will receive an armor satchel, which allows you to carry 3 additional plates for a total of 8 armor plates, as well as the reward. The third and final contract is the recon contract. This contract requires you to head over to the marked recon, capture the device, and upon capturing the device, if you look at your map, you'll be able to see where the next zone will move to, giving your team an advantage over other players who decide not to capture any recons. It is important to note that when you do contracts, you'll be actively gaining a percentage increase, so that with every new contract you do, the reward increases based off that percentage gain. Now for the loadout drops in the map. It is important to know when these drop so that you can play around the loadout drop if necessary. The first map loadout will drop 13 seconds before the first circle closes, and the second map loadout will drop 45 seconds before the 5th circle starts to close. Now we can talk about a couple of strategies that your squad can try and replicate to earn a Warzone victory. The first strategy that most players use is a more fast-paced playstyle. Early in the game, you can drop where you think would have the most amount of players and try to get as many kills as possible. If you survive this, you can then pick up the bounty contract, which marks where enemies are, and repeat this process until the end zone. That way you can be in the heat of the battle the entire game. The second strategy is a slower paced playstyle, but I personally use this method and win 65% of my games. This strategy requires you to scan the map when first entering the game, recognizing where the most recon contracts are, but also trying to avoid a lot of the action off the start of the game. I would highly recommend sending one player to grab a helicopter somewhere along the way to the location your team is landing. You will need to do the recons relatively quickly, and this is where you will utilize the helicopter's mobility. One player can wait at another recon contract while the rest of your team captures the current recon, thus cutting down the time in between contracts. The typical amount of recons you will need to complete is 5 to 6, that way you can see the final zone. I would recommend also completing a scavenger after you do a couple of recons, that way you get some extra money to purchase some kill streaks, as well as munition boxes and armor boxes. Using the helicopter, depending on the zone, you would need to find a central location within the final zone and defend it. Some more important information to know in the game is the circle timers. Although there is a timer in the game next to your minimap, it is very easy to be distracted by either fighting another team or doing contracts and eventually having to run from the zone. I'm going to put these times on the screen now. Next we'll be talking about the vehicles in the game. The ATV is a 2-person 4-wheeler. You can have your teammates sit on top of it though, that way you don't have to leave your squad behind, but I personally believe it is one of the worst ways of getting across the map as you can easily be shot out of it. The SUV is a 4-person vehicle. This vehicle has more protection with it having a roof and doors, although you can still get shot out of it, but it is a bit harder, as well as very susceptible to being blown up by enemy explosives. The cargo truck, or aka Big Bertha, is the tankiest vehicle in the game, surviving 2 RPGs before becoming critical. The driver is extremely safe, although your team laying in the bed of the truck can be shot very easily. The Pre-Runner is a 4-person ATV. It is the fastest vehicle in the game, although again it is pretty easy to shoot people out of, seeing as it has no doors or a roof. The helicopter is by far the best transportation method in the game in my opinion. You can use the helicopter for a number of things, from getting around the map relatively safely to taking high ground from your opponents, although if anyone has a lock-on rocket launcher, you can't get blown out of the sky. Although you do have vehicle flares to redirect this incoming missile, but you would need your team to identify where the rocket is coming from and time it perfectly. Or you could just put a trophy system on top of your helicopter to block incoming explosives. Another quick tip is that you actually run faster with kill streaks out, such as a cluster strike or a precision airstrike. If your team calls in 3 UAVs, you essentially have an advanced UAV and can see everyone in your game. Although if a team has ghosts, you will not be able to see them on the map. Another essential strategy for your endgame, if you know where the final circle will be, is to take a building and use a loadout drop to block one of the entrances. I have found that cluster strikes are exceptionally good for zoning enemies, especially for those endgame circles in the open. For taking high ground or even a tall building, I have found that using a helicopter or even just taking the stairs to a building and using kill streaks to force enemies off the top of the building is a very useful strategy when needing to take the tallest building in the zone. Well guys, I hope you learned at least one new thing from this video. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. If you guys would slap the like button and smash the subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. If you guys ever want to watch some of these tips used in gameplay live, I also stream on Twitch, and the link will be in the description below. That's all the tips and tricks I have for right now. Thanks for watching guys, and before I leave, here's some more intense gameplay.
Coming actual. Request recon flyover.
UAV entering the AO. UAV entering the AO. UAV entering the AO.
Wow, there's so many people over here. Really, all of them have to move too. What the fuck? What is he doing?
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply. 10 remain. You're nearly done.
In the tower, bro?
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated. Enemy UAV overhead.
I swear to God, this guy's in the tower.
Target sighted.
Five remain. Stay alert.
Please, God, no one be up top.
You're losing ground.
Oh. Know where the last guy is now. What a weird angle to fight.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
Let's go, baby!
Good work.
Let's go! Let's go, chat! Let's go, baby! 22 kills, solo win! I call that a dub. Let's go! Easy money, baby! That right there, 22 kills without dying. Actually, did I die? I think I might have died. I think I died once. Did I die? I don't know. But that makes up for all the kills that I got, or all the games I had where my KD was like awful.